When we heard the story about the crisis at the National Cheerleading Competition in Texas, we were there to help. This was a traumatic event that you'll see nationally affected thousands of people, even though nobody was injured or killed. So when you take people like Will and Missy, the owners, and coaches Dirk and John, and they acknowledge that this was a traumatic event and pull everybody together so we can take time to talk it through and offer support, because they went to such heroic measures and everything they've done since this event to make sure their athletes, their families, and everybody feels safe and prepared. For that reason, we want to honor Empire Athletics with our 2025 Good Samaritan Award.
1, 2, 3, Mega Camp! Good job today, friends.
My name is Will Grossman. My wife and I, Melissa, are in our second year of ownership of Empire Athletics. Empire Athletics, at its core, we offer competitive cheer. It's a combination of part-time gymnastics, part-time cheer, part-time dance.
My name is Dirk Allen. I'm the director of Empire Athletics Sherwood.
My name is John Westmore. I am director at Empire Athletics Vancouver.
Each year there's a National Cheerleading Association, All-Star National Championships, NCAA Dallas.
NCAA Nationals, it's one of the biggest competitions in the world.
As a coach, I'd been there many times before, so we were really excited to put NCAA on our schedule this year.
It was really important that we sent our athletes to get that NCAA experience in Dallas.
There's about 1,700 teams, about 30 to 40,000 cheerleaders, and over 100,000 spectators at the event.
It's a 3-day competition. We took all of our elite athletes, so we ended up taking about 75 athletes and families. On day 2, while we were waiting for the award ceremony, chaos broke out.
We're about to get ready to go gather for awards, so my husband and I were sitting in the stands.
We're sitting in the venue, and all of a sudden, there was just this eruption of noise. Waves of people came screaming, yelling at us like something out of a zombie movie. It was really, really nerve-wracking. And in the moment, it was like, you know, what in the world is going on?
I was facing the AccuScore tent and kids came sprinting in.
Where we are in that little coaching area, it's kind of just for coaches. And then all of a sudden we kind of heard noises, and then one door, which only coaches kind of go through, flew open, and just a crowd of people came rushing through, and then that's when we knew something was going wrong.
The security guards started screaming, active shooter, take cover. And then SWAT teams started running in, and they're like, evacuate the building, evacuate the building. The kids were really scared to leave, so we were kind of like, as coaches, huddling around them. The security guards are yelling, active shooter. There's SWAT teams running in with guns drawn. We don't know what's happening.
And it was just kind of like rushing to go somewhere that nobody knew where to go. So the whole goal was find an exit.
We heard people yelling, they've got a gun, they're shooting, and people just started spreading. Diving under tables, diving under the stage, running into the bathrooms and locking doors.
Chaos unfolding in downtown Dallas Saturday, people running in fear.
Tens of thousands of people had to be evacuated from the National Cheerleading Association All-Star Championship. Video posted on social media showed scores of people running for their lives in the midst of pandemonium.
We just kind of tried to take stock of the situation and start moving toward an exit. Immediately, Melissa and I pivoted to, where are our people? Where is our cheer family?
We immediately evacuated. We split up looking for our athletes, trying to connect them with our families.
Eventually we made it outside the building, and we were on the backside of the convention center. And on 3 different occasions while we were outside, mass waves of hysteria took off again. People sprinting off in different directions, then coming towards us and running past us again. It was really mad chaos.
Before we actually heard anything, we just felt this rush of energy coming from the building, and then you started hearing screaming, active shooter, and it was just an absolute stampede.
We saw maybe a couple hundred people come flying out the door of the hotel right where we were. Luckily, our child was with us.
Yeah.
But a lot of parents were separated from their kids.
We immediately contacted our coaches, who were already well down the path of, where's your athlete? Probably within about 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes tops of all hell breaking loose. We knew everybody was accounted for and safe, and we still, at this time, we had no idea what was going on.
Thankfully, most of the athletes were with their parents. But God, it felt like forever. You know, I could see the fear in people's eyes, and I felt it. panic. What do? Right? You hear noises, security's telling you this is active shooter, and you see your athletes crying, thinking they're not going to see their moms. It's horrific.
Once the dust settled and we had all of our people accounted for, then we pivoted very quickly to, okay, what now? All of our people that were there believed to their core that we were in the middle of a mass shooting event, and all the trauma came with that, right? The fear was real. It was a very, very scary event. There's no doubt about it.
The second everything happened, we kind of, as a coaching staff, went into reaction mode of, let's make sure everybody's safe, let's make sure we can get where we need to go, and then what do we need to do when we come back? Not just for our kiddos, but our staff who was there as well, our parents who were there as well, and for parents who weren't able to go.
On our way home, we started brainstorming what can we do as leadership to better prepare ourselves for the worst case, but to also ensure our families that they can trust that we're going to be looking out for their children.
Will and I put together an emergency kit in the event that this happened again. In this kit, we've included a walkie-talkie. We have an Empire sign that lights up. Before they leave their parents, all of the athletes put an AirTag onto their uniform. And so we know where they're at all times.
We immediately started including maps and evacuation routes and rally points should something like this happen again.
When we came back from NCA, we realized that we probably needed some help, like not only for the coaches, but for the kids and the families. I reached out to TIP, and instantly they're like, we'll be there tomorrow.
I actually connected with Dirk. He filled me in on what happened and his concerns. Colleen and Jenny and I, we went 2 nights down in Sherwood. We were just present, and we just tried to validate what they experienced.
Conversations with the TIP volunteers really brought my team back together, and getting to hear each other's stories and understand where they were and what they were thinking at the time, and getting to process those emotions through the help of the TIP volunteers, they really helped.
Our children count on us adults to be the calm person, the person who knows what's going on, the person who can keep them safe. This was a situation where none of the adults were at all in a position to do that because they were just as afraid.
I think TIP healed us, really. We went from Monday not being able to sit in the gym without crying and panicking to Wednesday after meeting with them to being able to practice and joke and laugh again. So they did a lot to help heal our program.
Even though in the end there wasn't a shooter, it was still very valid what they were feeling and what they went through in those moments.
The amount of support that TIP has given us, we are so grateful for. And the parents are just so grateful that they were able to do this for us.
When TIP came, they helped us greatly. TIP teens were great with our youth athletes. The TIP volunteers were amazing with our more teenage athletes who have those bigger feelings that really they wanted to say and they wanted their story to be told. TIP was great just coming in and telling them it's okay to feel that way, and there were no casualties, but it was still traumatizing. There were still people running in fear for their life, and that's a real thing.
I believe Empire Athletics deserves the Heroes with Heart Award because they put their kids first.
Empire Athletics deserves the Heroes with Heart Award because of their immediate action. They immediately addressed the trauma needs of their athletes and their families and their whole community.
Quite frankly, I believe TIP saved our entire gym, if I'm going to be completely honest. We were split between pockets of people that had the worst imaginable possible experience that you could have when you're somewhere with your children, with folks that maybe just didn't quite understand what happened. TIP being kind of the medium that gave us the opportunity to speak to each other in a safe space and to feel comfortable sharing that experience, they were able to mend a fracture that I don't know that we would have been able to recover from. So I'm forever grateful for the folks at TIP and what they were able to provide us.